Imagine you're sitting in your small coastal home. It's November 12th, 1970, a quiet Thursday night. Your children are asleep. Outside, the wind whispers and the sea seems restless. But you've seen storms before. Then suddenly, the wind grows louder. The walls begin to shake. And in the pitch-black night, you hear a sound you will never forget. The roaring of the ocean. Not from afar, but coming toward you. Within minutes, a 30-foot wall of water rises from the Bay of Bengal and swallows everything. When the sun rises the next morning, 500,000 people are dead. This was the Bhola cyclone of 1970, the deadliest tropical cyclone in human history, a disaster that changed a nation and shaped the birth of Bangladesh. In 1970, Bangladesh didn't exist yet. It was called East Pakistan, a poor, rural region under the control of West Pakistan. Separated by more than 1,000 miles of land, tensions were rising. The people of East Pakistan were preparing for a national election, a chance to finally have a voice. But far away, deep in the Bay of Bengal, the ocean was preparing something else. A monster. A storm so vast that NASA satellites captured its swirling eye from space, like a cosmic spiral of death. They called it Tropical Cyclone Bhola. But no one in the coastal villages of Bhola knew what was coming. There were no smartphones, no warning systems, only the calm before the most brutal storm in recorded history. On the afternoon of November 12th, fishermen noticed the tides were unusually high. The sky turned the color of iron. Birds fled inland. Yet the villages of Bhola Island stayed still. Families cooked dinner. Children played outside. Some had heard there might be a storm, but storms were part of life by the sea. Then, just before 10 p.m., the wind began to scream. Winds reached over 135 miles per hour. In total darkness, the sea invaded the land. The surge was 20 to 30 feet high, as tall as a 3-story building. Entire villages vanished in seconds. Mothers clutched their children as the waves tore them apart. Boats, trees, homes. Everything disappeared under the black water. Witnesses said, the ocean didn't come once. It came again and again. When dawn finally came, there was silence, only the cries of the living, calling names that would never be answered. The next morning, rescue teams found nothing left. Miles of land were covered with bodies, men, women, children, and animals, tangled in fishing nets and trees. In one village, out of 10,000 people, only a few dozen survived. The island of Manpura lost nearly 85% of its population, more than 500,000 lives gone overnight. It was not just a cyclone, it was a genocide of nature. A woman named Saleha survived by clinging to a tree all night. In her arms were her 2 daughters. When the storm finally passed, one was gone. She later said, "The ocean took everything from me, except my heartbeat." Stories like hers echoed across Bhola, an island of ghosts where the dead outnumbered the living. But what followed made the tragedy even darker. The central government in West Pakistan reacted slowly, too slowly. For days, no help came. No food, no medicine, no rescue boats. As the survivors starved, the ruling elite in the western half of Pakistan carried on with their election campaigns. The world barely noticed. When international journalists finally arrived, they called it a sea of corpses. The neglect enraged the people of East Pakistan. Their grief turned to fury. This fury soon ignited a revolution, and within a year in 1971, a new country was born, Bangladesh. The Bhola cyclone was more than a natural disaster. It was the spark that lit a nation's struggle for identity. Out of unimaginable loss rose a people who refused to be silent ever again. Today, Bangladesh is one of the world's leaders in cyclone preparedness. Early warning systems, storm shelters, and community resilience. But the memory of that night still haunts the waves of the Bay of Bengal. Every November, when the wind howls over the coast, the elders whisper, "The ocean remembers." The night the ocean killed 500,000 souls, it also gave birth to a nation's courage. A story written not in ink, but in tears, salt, and survival.
You've entered the world of Justified Mystery,
where every story has a shadow and every shadow hides a truth. Before we go deeper, hit that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Because the mysteries we uncover here are not for the faint-hearted. Ready? Let's begin.